The Vanishing Light, Part 1. The First Flicker. Mira hated working late, but tonight was unavoidable. The office building was nearly deserted, save for the hum of old fluorescent lights and the occasional creak that always made her glance over her shoulder. It was almost midnight when the first flicker came. Her computer screen blinked once, twice, and then went black. Mira froze, her fingers hovering over the keyboard. Outside her cubicle window, the city below glowed peacefully, unaware of the suffocating silence inside these walls. She tapped the monitor. Nothing. She sighed and leaned back in her chair, massaging her temples. Bang! A loud metallic thud echoed down the hallway. Mira jumped. Her heartbeat hammered in her chest. She peered into the corridor. Nothing but rows of empty desks and shadows dancing on the walls. She checked her phone. Dead. She knew she charged it before coming to work. A chill crawled up her neck as she heard footsteps. Slow. Heavy. Coming closer. Mira? A voice called. Muffled but unmistakably male. She exhaled in relief. It had to be the night guard, Mr. Raghav. Always did his rounds at this hour. She stepped out into the hallway, scanning the dim corridor. Mr. Raghav, is that you? She asked, her voice echoing. Silence. The footsteps stopped. Mira took a cautious step forward, hugging herself against the cold draft sweeping through the hallway. Then she saw it. At the end of the corridor, under the flickering exit sign, a shadow standing perfectly still, watching her. She opened her mouth to speak, but the lights went out completely. The building plunged into darkness. In the pitch black, Mira heard a whisper, so close it brushed her ear. You shouldn't have stayed late. To be continued. The Vanishing Light, Part 2. Creepy sound background. Darkness swallowed Mira whole. She held her breath, straining her ears for another whisper, but all she heard was the blood pounding in her head. She fumbled for her phone again. Dead. She patted her pockets for anything, her office ID card, a pen, useless weapons against the unknown thing breathing in the shadows. A faint light flickered at the corridor's end. The shadow was gone. Instead, an old emergency lamp buzzed to life above the exit door. Mira forced her feet to move. Each step felt like wading through ice water. As she neared the exit, she noticed something odd. A trail of muddy footprints leading away from the door and back into the dark hallway. The prints were fresh, dripping onto the white tiles. She pushed the exit door. Stuck. She slammed her shoulder into it, but it wouldn't budge. She turned back. The hallway behind her was empty, yet her skin crawled as if unseen eyes traced her every move. Suddenly, the emergency lamp flickered wildly. In its stuttering glow, she saw it again. The shadow. Only now it wasn't a silhouette. It was a man. Or what used to be a man. His clothes were soaked, torn, his eyes black hollows, locked onto hers. Mira's mouth went dry. She stumbled backward as the figure stepped forward, dragging one foot as if broken. Who are you? She rasped. The thing didn't answer. Instead, it raised a trembling finger and pointed at her cubicle down the corridor, at her computer desk she'd just left minutes ago. Through the darkness, the computer screen blinked on by itself. On it flashed a CCTV feed, showing Mira's cubicle. And in the footage, sitting at her desk, was her, Mira, typing away, oblivious to the shadow standing right behind her. Mira's vision spun. She turned back to the corridor, but the figure was inches away now, his breath reeking of damp earth and mold. You shouldn't have stayed. The whisper slithered out again, but this time his rotting lips didn't move. Mira's legs gave out. She hit the floor hard, eyes locked on the figure leaning over her. The lights flickered once more, and the corridor was empty again. She forced herself up and crawled to her desk. The computer still played the live feed. She was still there, in the footage, sitting at the desk as if nothing had happened. But the real Mira was gasping on the floor, watching her doppelganger calmly working. Then the feed zoomed in by itself, focusing on her own face on the screen. Slowly, the other Mira lifted her head and stared directly into the camera, into her eyes, and smiled. Behind her, the whisper came again, right by her ear, cold and final. Time to switch places. End of part 2. The end.